CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
We're thinking about the future of all students. We do not want to end up in so much debt.
From one end of Barrie to the other, classrooms were empty today as students took a stand against cuts to OSAP. Good evening. The sounds of chants could be heard outside the offices of our local MPPs today as students from local high schools argue that financial support is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. CTV's Rob Cooper has more from the crowds of young teens fighting not just for themselves, but for future generations who want a fair shot at higher education.
Save our OSAP! Save our OSAP! Save our OSAP!
High school students in Barrie traded in their books for protest signs to fight the Ford government's planned changes to the province's student financial aid program.
It doesn't matter what it is. You can hear everybody chanting, Save our OSAP!
Save our OSAP!
We're all here to be here. We need that funding. Doug Ford, give it back!
The rain didn't stop hundreds of young people standing up for what they feel is an unfair approach to educational funding. Under the government's new plan, 25% of post-high school student funding would come through grants. 75% would be considered a loan and would have to be paid back. Unacceptable, according to the students protesting today.
The changes to how grants and loans are structured, they are devastating. They will cut off many students from being able to pay from post-secondary. I was originally considering after bachelor's degree to go into a master's program, but if the OSAP changes really do go into effect, I may have to reconsider.
The students were peaceful and loud as they gathered outside both Barrie MPP offices today.
Yeah, I feel like we have to do something because if we don't, no one else will. This is our future, and I believe that it's up to us to save our future.
It will affect my plan. I've spent over 12 years in education. Now my post-secondary life is affected.
A big concern for the young students is the debt they may face upon graduation. They're hoping the Ford government reconsiders its proposed plan.
I'm thinking tuition. I'm thinking, like, should I stay in my hometown to get rid of, extra costs? I might be going from a better program.
Now, many of the students here today say they will not back down in their attempts to get the Ford government to back off on its planned changes to OSAP. Many suggesting they may be forced to hold a series of more protests in the coming months. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
Wow, not even the rain stopped them. Now, many of us felt that powerful thunderstorm that swept through Barrie early this morning, leaving many in the dark. More than 4,000 homes and businesses lost power as heavy rain and strong winds moved through the city. By 7 a.m., that number dropped to just over 1,100 customers still without electricity. Utility crews were dispatched and worked through the day to restore power, but police are still warning drivers to treat any remaining dark intersections as four-way stops. Let's head outside now for our first look at weather. Luke has us covered. Out to you.
Well, Sarah, it's been raining all day, really, and if you're not yet tired of that rain, well, it's still expected to rain in a few areas right through our region as we make our way into 7 p.m. And lucky for us, if you're not tired of the snow or you're finally able to see over a snowbank, well, the snow will and possibly could return tonight as well. The bright side is, well, temperatures are kind of right where they should be, despite those summer-like temperatures we got a taste of earlier in the week. So let's go and take a look at our first look at weather. Of course, it's brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. We're going to start with our weather alerts this evening, and that rain alert has been lifted throughout most of the region, but Orillia, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, you still could see that. And that orange freezing rain warning in Halliburton, well, that actually stretches all the way to east of Quebec City, so covering a fairly large region of the country here tonight. Taking a look in Barrie right now, you are seeing about 2 degrees out there, and the winds, oh, there isn't really a lot of wind out there, so it's actually a fairly nice night if you're going to wear a jacket, layer up, and go for a walk with that umbrella. Here's a look at temperatures right through the region. 5 degrees in Allison, you're seeing about 3 in Owen Sound, 4 in Collingwood. 2 degrees right through Barrie, Orillia, Gravenhurst, as well as Parry Sound. 1 degree in Algonquin Park. A little bit further south, our friends in Toronto seeing about 5. That is what we saw today right through the region. You can see a mix of rain. Some areas saw some snow. And if you zoom out there, yeah, you're seeing more rain really come right through the region. That could turn into some snow tonight, Sarah. So if you're coming home from work with that umbrella, well, you might have to switch out that umbrella for a snow brush because snow could very well be on the way.
All right, thanks for that, Luke. We'll have our full weather forecast a little later in the show, but with all that significant rainfall, flood concerns remain high right across our region. In Innisfil, several roads remain closed because of annual flooding until further notice. That includes Bel Air Beach Road, Buchanan Street, Maple Road, and the intersection of Tall Tree Lane and Crystal Beach Road. Drivers are urged to avoid flooded areas and use extra caution on local roads. Meanwhile, flooding along the Big Head River in Meaford has turned parts of Grey County into a pretty dramatic scene. There's a look. Muddy, fast-moving water spilled over the riverbanks after heavy rain and a rapid thaw late last week. Most water levels have since improved, but the 8th Side Road remains closed with no reopening date. And that severe weather has forced several ski resorts here in Simcoe County to shut down for the day. Snow Valley Resort, Mount St. Louis Moonstone, and Horseshoe Valley Resort are closed because of the warm temperatures, the freezing rain, and forecasted heavy rain on the way. Resorts say teams are working to manage conditions and plan to reopen tomorrow. Blue Mountain, however, remains open with 21 of 43 hills still available despite some delays this morning. Now, that mild weather did allow for maintenance crews in the city to catch up with snow and slush clearing. That being said, Barrie officially declared its significant weather event, which has been in place since November, to now be over, as all narrowed road and cycling lanes have been cleared and winter maintenance operations are back to normal service levels. After some huge jumps in gas prices fueled by the conflict in the Middle East, some relief is expected at our pumps, but not for long.
My warning right now, and I've been doing this for 30 years, please gas up on Thursday and don't wait till Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because the prices from here appear to be going only one direction, and that's way, way up.
Gas analysts are predicting that the price of regular gas will drop by 8 cents tonight as the clock strikes midnight, and diesel will drop by 12 cents.
All this is because President Trump made a commitment or a pledge on Monday saying that he would be able to open up the strategic area of Straits of Hormuz. There would be safe passage. There wouldn't be any incident. And other countries belonging to the International Energy Agency would release their emergency supplies of oil. That calmed the markets for all about 5 hours. And then they realized this won't be enough.
According to McTagg, it's because the conflict in Iran is expected to continue, forcing gas prices to climb to as high as $1.60 a liter on this Friday, and it's looking like it'll go even higher over the weekend. Now, if you have an opinion about recent gas prices, fairly certain we all do, we'd like to hear it. Participate in our CTV web poll asking if rising gas prices will affect your travel habits. Here are your options. Yes, I will make a point to drive less. No, I will drive as much as usual. Or not sure. It will depend on how high the prices go. You can find that poll on our website, ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Barrie police were dispatched to Georgian Mall on Monday night for reports of teenagers causing trouble, including one chasing others with a weapon. Officers say cell phone video shows a man armed with a machete chasing others, but when they searched the mall, they couldn't find any suspects or victims. A large machete was found outside in the snow, believed to be the same weapon. The investigation is ongoing, and at this time, no injuries have been reported. A 2019 murder shocked the community after a teenager brutally stabbed and killed a 15-year-old boy inside a local Barrie group home. Tonight, CTV's Mike Arcelides reports on the convicted murderer's latest push to change his maximum sentence. A warning, though, details in this story are graphic and may be disturbing to some of our viewers.
A third annual sentencing review is underway for the now 21-year-old man who 7 years ago viciously and repeatedly stabbed and killed another teen inside a Barrie group home while others looked on in horror. The young man, who pleaded guilty in 2022 and received the maximum 10-year sentence, including 6 years in custody, had been awarded the Children's Aid Society for 3 years after his parents could no longer care for him as he battled mental health issues and drug and alcohol abuse. The court heard the man, whose identity remains protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, blamed the other teen, believing he ratted on him to their foster parent for removing knives from a locked room. Angry with the teen, the young man attacked the boy while he was asleep in his bed on the morning of February 19, 2019. He then chased the boy with a kitchen knife and continued stabbing him. As part of his annual sentence review, the Crown read a report to the court highlighting the young man had not been receiving mental health supports while in jail at Central North Correctional Centre. The report revealed the young man has had 2 misconducts, including an assault of another inmate while having a mental health issue, and on another occasion showed disrespectful or threatening behavior to a correctional officer when he didn't want to be transferred to a different unit. Citing significant concerns, the Crown asked Justice Michelle First to confirm the man's sentence. His lawyer, Stephen DeWetter, argued his client's rehabilitation has been thwarted with a lack of mental health counseling at Central North. His lawyer is seeking a change in his client's circumstances with a conditional supervision order, referring to the young man's current situation as a roundabout, leaving him unable to make meaningful progress without proper mental health supports at the Penetanguishene jail. The hearing is scheduled to continue later this month. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
An update now on the Wasaga Beach fire that broke out at a motel on Monday evening. We've learned that OPP is now investigating the fire at the Villa Nova Motel on Mosley Street, treating it as suspicious. The fire broke out just before midnight on March 9th, mainly on the 2nd floor. Everyone inside got out safely and no injuries were reported, but the building on the waterfront has nearly $2 million in damages and is now uninhabitable. A serious crash has closed an intersection in Millington Township. Police say 2 vehicles collided at County Road 124 and County Road 21. A 78-year-old woman was taken to hospital and has died. Another suffered minor injuries. Emergency crews remain on scene this hour as the investigation continues. For the first time since a major land deal, Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall and Springwater Mayor Jennifer Coughlin met face-to-face today after the province transferred more than 3,000 acres of Springwater land to Barrie. CTV's Jack Morris joins us live tonight with all of the details and a little more on the bumps along the way. Jack.
Well, Sarah, the annexation began 3 years ago and has faced some controversy. Some members of Springwater Council being against and pushing back, ultimately leading to accusations of backroom deals and threats of lawsuits. Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall says the city needs the land to grow for industrial development. Some of those councillors are still pushing for a judicial review of the Mayor Coughlin's use of strong mayor powers to accept that final deal. The province legislated the annexation late last year. Barrie officially took over the lands at the beginning of this year. The city and township signed a provincially mandated $23 million compensation agreement 2 weeks ago, paying out over 5 years. It also includes $100 million in water and wastewater infrastructure to serve parts of Springwater.
So through this compensation package, it's work that I don't know when Springwater would have been able to do it. We're moving forward with our economic development strategy, and that's really the top priority.
More support for seniors, more jobs in the city of Barrie, more land set aside for conservation over at Little Lake. It means a greater relationship between the city of Barrie and Springwater Township, one that is, I think, blossoming, especially on the economic development front.
Now, notably absent from these discussions is Oro-Medonte Mayor Randy Greenlaw. The city of Barrie has not yet announced what the compensation agreement is going to look like there. Nuttall says they will be handing over the $10 million mandated by the province in the annexation bill, but it's not clear yet when that's going to happen. Sarah.
All right, thanks very much for that, Jack. Now, people at home, please do stay tuned because Springwater Mayor Jennifer Coughlin will be joining me in the studio a little later in the newscast to expand on her conversation with Mayor Nuttall and what's next for the boundary expansion. Now, with March break just around the corner, Barrie City Council's got a busy agenda tonight. One lead topic is a discussion for a new legislation to identify land for industrial and commercial development. They'll also review the concierge pilot project aimed at speeding up high-priority developments and creating more housing. And with Camp Invest set to return, Council will look to explore new ways to support the festival, including improving downtown transportation.
There's funding into the bus program to make sure that individuals can get down there from around the city. We're looking at some pilot projects for that as well to ensure that there's real opportunity for folks to go down there without driving, and that'll be a neat addition to this year's Camp Fest.
After tonight's meeting, Barrie City Council will resume on March 25th after March break. The Ontario government is providing disaster recovery funding to the town of Gravenhurst.
On the Saturday when the snow started, we must have blown our driveway about 2 or 3 times. I also did have my car stuck when I was going to the fire hall to sign the declaration of emergency. So there are lots of events that obviously will be cemented on my mind.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here this morning. Great to be in Gravenhurst.
The province is offering up to $780,000 to help cover emergency response and cleanup costs from extreme snowfall that hit the area back in November of 2024. During the storm, nearly 6 feet of snow fell in a short period of time, causing road closures, power outages, and leaving some residents stranded.
And events like this test our emergency systems, and they test the strength of our communities. But what stood out most was the way that Gravenhurst rallied. Neighbors helping neighbors, crews working around the clock, and local leadership guiding the response every step of the way.
Now, on behalf of our community, I want to thank the Government of Ontario for its financial support through the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program. This funding is extremely welcome as it takes a sizable financial burden off of our municipality.
The funding through Ontario's Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program will help the town pay for extraordinary costs related to clearing roads and repairing local infrastructure. The Sunshine City's iconic music festival is getting a bit of a boost from the Ontario government as well. MPP Jill Dunlop announcing today a near $50,000 grant for the Mariposa Folk Festival in an effort to support local musicians and create more jobs. Officials say it's part of the province's plan to support workers, businesses, and community culture amid economic challenges. This year's Mariposa Folk Festival runs from July 3rd until the 5th. Elementary schools, homeroom teachers right across Ontario. They'll soon receive a spending card to go towards purchasing classroom materials. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has more from Premier Doug Ford's big announcement today.
You can't make a masterpiece without them. Paintbrushes, paints, and paper too.
And that's a dock?
Ontario is putting up $66 million of new funding to make sure they get into little hands.
The days of teachers having to, put their hands in their own pockets to pay for school supplies, those days are done.
The Premier unveiling a plan to give elementary teachers $750 this fall to stock up their classrooms.
I'm just so proud. I think this is the greatest thing I think we've ever done for public education.
So here's how it works. This card helps teachers get connected to a website that will be set up by late summer. From that site, they'll be able to order everything from markers to paper towels. Supply Ontario will be running it to maximize the buying power.
Opposition leaders say that portal won't be able to send what's actually needed.
There's no website that is going to get that young girl in school who needs an EA and EA. They can't click on that.
This announcement does nothing to make class sizes smaller, to keep rural or northern schools open, to keep our students safe and supported in their classrooms.
While the union that speaks for public elementary teachers appreciates the help,
the government is trying to make us believe that this is a gift that's being given prior to what is going to be probably a very contentious round of central bargaining.
ETFO is part of a group of leaders appealing to the education minister as he considers the structure of school boards.
Mend it, don't end it, and include us in the discussions.
The minister says he hasn't presented cabinet with options, including what to do with trustees. Those elected officials have been sidelined in 8 boards already. Nominations for this fall's elections open May 1st.
We are seeing critical decisions in several of our boards happening behind closed doors via appointed supervisors without transparency.
Paul Calandra says boards under supervision won't get their control back
until they are on the right path. Like, full stop. If it takes us 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, I don't care.
But he doesn't see it happening anytime soon. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
This March break, the Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Maple Leafs are opening the doors at Scotiabank Arena for special fan days. The Raptors will kick things off on Monday with skills drills and a chance to meet current and former players. Then next Thursday, the Leafs host their first ever fan day featuring a 3-on-3 showdown. Attendees will also get to meet legends like Daryl Sittler and Wendell Clark. Finally, the Canadian Kennel Club has released its official top 10 dog breeds for 2025, and for the 32nd year in a row, the Labrador Retriever takes that top spot. The Golden Retriever comes in second, and following closely behind is the German Shepherd in third. New this year, the Poodle unseated the French Bulldog to claim 4th place. A wide range of job opportunities all under one roof. Coming up next here on CTV Barrie, this local job fair returned to Simcoe County once again, with some hired right on the spot. Plus, aspiring artists sharing flair for their craft when you too can take part in the next free open studio. Details on the other side of the break. Welcome back. Lots to tell you about. First up, resumes in hand, job seekers had a chance to meet face-to-face with local employers today at the Barrie Community Job Fair.
We are coming into a busy season with summer seasonal positions. Lots of employers in the area are hiring for manufacturing, landscaping, healthcare, service industry, you name it.
Opportunities were around every corner at the General John Hayter South Shore Community Centre, with full-time, part-time and seasonal jobs across a variety of industries available, and some even landed on-the-spot interviews.
What about if I want to volunteer?
Expectations for today were to meet a plethora of people, and so far that is exactly what's happening. We're meeting so many different people, and it's a really good time. It's really good to get out and see what other companies are looking for, and also be able to pick at people and be like, hey, you're really cool. It's really cool to meet you in this super casual environment.
The free event also featured prizes and resources to help people take their next step in the workforce. A special flag was raised today at Barrie City Hall, serving as a reminder that here in our city, change starts with all of us. Community members and city leaders gathered to mark March as It Starts Month, marking the 10th anniversary of the campaign that encourages residents of all ages to take a stand against racism and discrimination while promoting acceptance, equity, and inclusion. Artists in the Sunshine City had a creative night out last night as the Aurelia Arts Club hosted its open studio at the Makers Circle.
We should paint flowers on the front window.
The free event invites local creators to bring whatever they've been working on, from paintings to sketches and everything in between, to share it with others, get some feedback, or simply just come to take in a little quiet time to create.
You can bring whatever you're working on. And we have photographers that bring their computer and work on edits. We have writers who come sometimes and will just write, and people who bring their painting supplies, or if they're crocheting or making jewelry or whatever it is they're doing, they just come and be in space and community together.
The opportunity is open to artists of all skill levels twice a month, giving people a chance to connect with other creatives in the community and spark a few new ideas along the way. A local fundraiser is bringing together handcrafted chocolate and community support for families experiencing pregnancy and infant loss. The Chelsea Chocolates Easter fundraiser is in support of Bridget's Bunnies, and it's officially launched. You can order a sweet treat from now until March 15th, and the proceeds will support programs right across Simcoe County. That includes comfort kits for grieving families, the Little Loss Library, and a greeting card program for parents navigating loss. Still to come, it's time to leave it all on the court. It was now or never for hundreds of young athletes in our region vying to end their basketball season on top. That's coming up in just a few, but right now we'll head outside. Luke.
Well, you might have ditched the snow brush for an umbrella today, but hopefully you didn't put that snow brush very far. Yeah, we might have some snow coming up. You'll find out coming up just after the break. But first, let's go and take a look at our weather watcher, Leah. Well, Leah is ready for spring. She drew a beautiful cardinal. I think I saw some in my mom's backyard yesterday. Yeah, they're here. Thank you so much for the picture, Leah. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
We are celebrating silly moments, messy faces, funny expressions. However you have fun, capture those memories and please do share them with us. As always, the email address, picture this, at ctv.ca. Let's head outside. Luke, I put Case on the spot yesterday, telling him to reflect upon his entire broadcasting career and share with us the most embarrassing moment on live TV. And I know you were in morning television for years, so you probably have a lot of them.
There's a top 10 probably floating out there somewhere of tongue twisters that I've done, Sarah, but I think my top or most embarrassing moment was I was dancing with Bluey, the mascot, on morning television. For everyone at home that watches Bluey, you know the dance that I am talking about. Yes, quite embarrassing. And how about the weather outside today? Yeah, it was a little bit chilly, it was raining, freezing rain. You might have seen some snow even up in the Gravenhurst and Bracebridge area. It was quite unpredictable today. Taking a look at temperatures around the region, it's a little bit more cooler as well. If you are in Barrie or really at Gravenhurst, you're seeing about 2 degrees, 6 degrees in Collingwood as well as Newmarket, 7 in Allison, 5 in Toronto. Overnight lows, yeah, it's going to get a little bit more cooler out there. Today we did reach a high of that 2 degrees, low of 0.2. We're kind of hovering right around those normals for the highs. It's a little bit more cooler at night with these evening lows. But how about those records? Just set a few years ago, really. High of 17, yeah, we could have taken that. We probably broke a record last week. Minus 16 was the record low set in 2017. And yes, those days are slowly getting longer. They're almost at 12 hours. Let's go take a look at that forecast now. You're probably wondering when this rain's going to stop. Well, it's actually going to stop quite shortly, but the bad news for you at home is we could very well see that rain turn into some snow tonight. It's going to start out as rain, freezing rain, to some snow before it does clear out overnight. And taking a look at those overnight temperatures, you are seeing about -5 right through Barrie, Wasaga Beach, Collingwood, -8 in Owen Sound, -7 Midland, as well as Pentanguishene, -5 in Orillia. Tomorrow, we're still hovering right around that 0 mark, -1. You could see snow to start the morning off before it does clear into some more cloudier conditions. -5 in Pentanguishene as well as Midland. You're seeing about -2 in Owen Sound. Let's head further south to York region. Overnight, you're going to see -4. Some cloudy conditions. You could see some ice pellets, maybe some freezing rain a little bit later on tonight, but it will clear into tomorrow. But once again, that snow does return. You're seeing a high of 2 degrees right from Georgina all the way to Richmond Hill and even west to Orangeville. Meanwhile, further north, you can see -6 in Parry Sound overnight as well as Bracebridge, Gravenhurst. You're seeing that snow return. -7 Huntsville, Haliburton. But kind of like it is right through the Barrie area, you're going to see the snow kind of die off overnight before it returns in the morning, and then you're going to be left with those mainly cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, -3 Parry Sound as well as Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, -2 in Huntsville and Haliburton. You could see local amounts to about 2 or 3 centimeters, really right from Huntsville all the way down to Richmond Hill. Let's go and take a look at our 5-day forecast, and of course that is brought to you by Diamond & Diamond Lawyers. Does the weather get better? Casey Colby knows when to take the days off. -1 tomorrow, like we said, 0 on Friday right through Simcoe County. Now we do get to see some sun starting on the weekend, but it does come with a little bit more of that snow. Sunday, -2, the snow continues. Monday, we're going to hit that 0 degree mark, but check out that overnight low. You're seeing about -14, so we're still not through all of this cold weather just yet. York region, you are seeing that snow really continue a degree or 2 warmer throughout the week compared to Simcoe County as we head into the weekend. You're seeing about 0 on Saturday. You do have a chance of that mix of sun and cloud on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, -1 cloudy conditions before that snow does return to start a brand new week at 1 degree. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton. Well, you're seeing the snow. You're also seeing those double-digit overnight lows, so it could be a little bit more cooler to start your mornings as you head out the door for work. -3 tomorrow, -1 on Friday. You're seeing about -2 on Saturday. Once again, that mix of sun and cloud really right through the region. And Monday, starting the brand new week with...
Oh.
Don't brush away just yet.
You didn't think you were going to get away with not showing us this Bluey dance.
I forget it.
Oh.
You're never going to see this dance happen ever again, but it's floating around on YouTube somewhere, I'm sure.
On the internet, it lives forever. We'll do some sleuthing and find it. Thanks, Luke. It is the last tournament of the season for these young basketball players, and today, boy, they came to play. That's a look at the Intermediate Boys County Basketball Tournament, which took over Bear Creek Secondary School and Peggy Hill Community Center.
It's about participation. It's about skill development at this age. Certainly teams and the kids want to be competitive and they want to play their hardest, which is what we want. But today should be about a memory of being in a finals and a championship tournament for kids.
We came in here with a little bit of nerve. We actually have never been in this position before without Catholic schools, but it's very good to be here and we hope to win it all. That's always our goal. That's always where we want to be. But really, we're just out here having fun.
8 teams from elementary schools from right across the region were all going for gold. Love to see young people embracing sport. Now, there are always plenty of events happening around our region. Let's look towards the weekend. For that, we'll go to Bounce 104 morning show host Martin Van Coy. Here are your weekend listings.
Hi, I'm Martin Van Coy for Bounce Radio, and these are your weekend events for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off, it's a major milestone in Muskoka. The Gravenhurst Opera House is celebrating its 125th anniversary with a 3-day festival running March 12th to the 14th. On Thursday, you can enjoy a free community celebration featuring performances from Miranda Mulholland, Bette Smith and the Curie Brothers, Rhonda Way, and the Gravenhurst Bifocals Concert Band with a few others. You can learn more at gravenhurst.ca. From historic stages to big screen classics, this weekend, the 5 Points Theatre in Barrie is hosting March Break musical movies. All tickets are just $5. On Saturday, you can catch Wonka at 3 and Grease at 7. Then on Sunday, you can watch The Wizard of Oz at 3 and Hairspray at 7. It's a great chance to enjoy timeless musical favorites on the big screen. You can go to barrie.ca to learn more. Moving outdoors to Horseshoe Valley, the Junior National Snowboard event runs March 14th through to the 19th. Young athletes from across Canada will compete in snowboard cross, slopestyle, big air, parallel slalom, parallel giant slalom, and bank slalom. You can learn more at horseshoeresort.com. And finally, the Bounce 104.1, Pure Country 106, and CTV Barrie Feeding Families campaign presented by Peggy Hill is ready for another year. And we kick things off Monday, March 16th at the Peggy Hill head office on Huronia Road from 4 to 7. We're going to be visiting communities across our region, and what's raised in your community stays in your community. You can learn more at ctvnews.ca/Barrie. I'm actually going to be there at Peggy Hill on the 16th. Those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Still to come, looking at what's next on the timeline for the Barrie Boundary Deal. From water infrastructure to keeping rural areas rural, we'll be joined by Springwater Township Mayor Jennifer Coughlin. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV Barrie. Recapping our top stories, protests were held outside the offices of our local MPPs today as students from local high schools dispute what they feel is an unfair approach to educational funding. Under the government's new plan, 25% of post-high school student funding would come through grants. 75% would be considered a loan and would have to be paid back. A third annual sentencing review is underway for the now 21-year-old man who 7 years ago viciously and repeatedly stabbed and killed another teen inside a Barrie group home while others looked on in horror. The young man, who pleaded guilty back in 2022, received the maximum 10-year sentence. And the mayors of Barrie and Springwater Township sat down with us today to confirm the two signed a provincially mandated $23 million compensation agreement 2 weeks ago, paying out over the next 5 years for annexed land. It also includes $100 million in water and wastewater infrastructure to serve parts of Springwater. Okay, and joining us now in the CTV Barrie studio to elaborate is Springwater Township Mayor Jennifer Coughlin. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling after that one-on-one conversation with Mayor Nettle this morning?
Oh, that was great. It's actually it's been a little quiet regarding the City of Barrie negotiations lately, so it's good to talk about it again and just get really excited about what's to come next.
So key dates that have just passed January 1st, all of the impacted lands officially became part of the City of Barrie. So what's next? What are we working towards?
Right now we're working on our cross-border servicing agreement. We also are working with the City of Barrie on an economic development progress, trying to make sure that we can bring industry to Springwater. So working on that. It's just a lot more moving forward.
I think a question that needs to be answered is, how does this help Springwater grow and the future of the region if you're in fact smaller?
This lets us remain small. This puts growth where growth needs to be. It puts industry where industry needs to be, and it allows Springwater to remain rural, respecting our agricultural communities and just not having that pressure to have high rises in the middle of a country. So we're really looking forward to creating those areas where the growth can happen.
What are we looking at in terms of a timeline for when both the industrial and the residential building is underway?
Yes, not soon enough. We are geared up for it. One of our most significant projects is the Remington lands, which we heard about through that. So we are continuing to work with them to get shovels in the ground as fast as possible. It is incredibly exciting to know that when this project comes to fruition, we will have a seniors age in place continuum of care complex. It's going to be everything from just seniors living to assisted living to hospice. There'll be medical there, and it just really allows our residents to remain in Springwater.
How are the residents feeling? Have you been connecting with the constituents and taking in some of their opinions still?
With the City of Barrie, it's been quiet. I think that the first step was negotiation. I'm excited for residents to start seeing this. Once the shovels are in the ground, they will get excited about it. Once we start seeing some economic development in Springwater, they'll get excited about it. So right now, it's it's all the work that we need to do in preparation for it.
$23 million will be paid to Springwater Township over a 5-year span. Where does that number come from? Has this been done elsewhere and you're using that as a blueprint?
Yeah, so our original framework was based off of a previous provincially facilitated negotiation. Where we ended up between us and the City of Barrie is actually double that. So we are really proud that we were able to come together and create what is now the most significant compensation package in Ontario and is now being used in other areas as a framework.
What does it feel like to be part of, a first of its kind compensation package? And what would you say to people at home that are maybe still a little uneasy?
I think it's important to know how much collaboration and cooperation went into this. Having the City of Barrie really place value on our agricultural needs and our desire to ensure that generations of farms can continue, and in doing so we put in a 20-year phase-in for taxation, allowing that generational farming to continue. But then again, for us, understanding the growth needs of the city, so really working together to make sure that what's important to the city and what's important to Springwater both were evident in the package.
Well, it looks, Mayor Coughlin, like it's going to be a very busy year ahead. I'm sure this is the first conversation of many, so thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we will continue to update our website. Let's pull it up on the screen there because you can revisit this interview as well as follow that boundary expansion as it continues to grow. ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Turning now to our markets, Canada's main stock index lost nearly 100 points in late morning trading, but let's go ahead and see where the numbers closed at the end of the day. The TSX was down 150 points, the Dow was down 289, the Nasdaq was up 19, and commodities oil was up, closing at $87.25 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $5,179 an ounce. Our dollar down, ending the day at 73.60 cents US. Canada's Registered Disability Savings Plan is designed to help those with disabilities save for the future. But as CTV's Pat Foran reports, some families say that it could be improved.
This is Sebastian. Say hi, Sebastian.
Sebastian Correa of Toronto is 14 years old. He was born with a heart defect and had a heart transplant as a baby. His mother, Sandra Martinez, says while he's a happy boy, he faces many medical challenges.
Transplanted heart, the fact that he can't eat by mouth, the fact that he doesn't speak, the fact that he has autism.
Martinez says it was suggested they open a registered disability savings plan, an RDSP, for Sebastian so he would have money when he was older. They believe they could make withdrawals from the plan after 30 years, but recently found out they'd have to wait much longer.
We would not be able to touch his money until he was 60 years old. That was a shock to us.
The family has about $100,000 in the RDSP. They must wait 10 years from the date of the government's last contribution to withdraw without penalty. In most cases, you must wait until you are 60 to withdraw funds from the RDSP without penalty. Martinez says by then, they won't be around to help.
Unfortunately, I don't think that he will get to 60 years old.
The penalty for early withdrawals is substantial, 3 times the amount taken out. Martinez says trying to get information on the plan has been frustrating.
If we were told at the very beginning when we sat down with an advisor at the bank that it would have been 60 years, we would never have done it.
It is complex, and again, it's relatively new.
Brendan Pooran's law firm specializes in supporting those with disabilities. He says while the goal of the RDSP is to promote long-term savings, he believes changes to the plan could benefit many families.
There are some creative solutions that the government could potentially consider when it comes to allowing people to access their funds.
Martinez says changes are needed.
I'm pretty sure there are more families like us that are in the same situation.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Now to Manhattan. It welcomes millions of visitors every year, but this week some unexpected guests turned up in the East River. A pod of dolphins are being seen playing in the water. Experts say it's highly unusual for them to come this close to the city, and it's believed to be the largest group of beaked dolphins seen in the East River in recent history. Now, they're not above digging through your trash for a bite to eat, but a new study has found that raccoons are not always motivated by food. Researchers from the University of British Columbia have found that while raccoons can often outsmart latches meant to keep them out of the bins, they may also be solving those as puzzles, simply for the challenge, even when there was no food reward inside. The behavior is described as information foraging that could give them an advantage in complex environments. Well, if you've got opposable thumbs, why not use them? Still to come, spreading kindness to young patients. How a teen is helping children feel a little less alone during some of their toughest moments. Stay with us, that's next. Time now to take a look at your Wednesday night primetime lineup. The Rookie is at 8 and 9 p.m., followed by Criminal Minds at 10 and CTV News Barrie at 11. An Ontario teen is showing compassion for young patients by offering them a friend so they know they're not alone in their journey. CTV's Madison Merrier has the story.
Maya Benoit fundraised for 2 months to purchase teddy bears for children going through the same thing she did.
Even if I only help one kid out of all this, that's one kid who doesn't feel like this alone in the same way that I did, and that just makes me really, really happy.
Benoit says she has spent plenty of time in hospitals due to her 2019 scoliosis diagnosis. She is now feeling better after spinal fusion surgery and wants to spread the message of hope to kids who are embarrassed of the medical device.
They have a back brace, just like a scoliosis patient would, and they can come on and off, which is pretty cool because some of them have surgery scars and stitches underneath, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, the brace is just like the kind a scoliosis patient would wear, so I think it would help a lot for a little kid to see something like a stuffed animal that has the same thing that they do, because you never really see the braces anywhere.
And it'll also be a good teaching tool for our child life counselors to bring to patients when we have them in on the floor, and just normalize it. And that's the whole idea. It should be a normal part of their everyday life, and they shouldn't be afraid. So we're hoping that it does change that stigma.
Benoit is thinking of studying nursing in post-secondary school, intending to help kids with scoliosis as she can relate.
It took a really big toll on my mental health, and I realized that it made me feel really alone and really self-conscious. So I really wanted to help other kids not feel the same way.
It makes me feel very proud. It's amazing to see that she didn't just get out of the surgery and go on and be a kid. Like, she decided to try to help other kids, which is amazing.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Luke, I have to make a redaction. Raccoons do not have opposable thumbs. Instead, they possess extremely dexterous, non-opposable toes on each of their front paws.
Sarah Freemark, that's a Google search if I've ever heard one.
Now we know.
Well, listen, you might see a raccoon on your commute to work tomorrow morning for, hey, maybe it's a get up and go. The raccoon might be getting up and going to work as well. Taking a look in Barrie, you're going to see -4 tomorrow with some snow. You'll see snow right through the region, -4 in Gravenhurst as well, or sorry, -6 and -4 in Newmarket. Sarah?
Thanks for that, Luke, and thanks to everyone at home for joining us. I'm Sarah Freemark. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Take care out there.